Hey guys, so today's video is just going to be a sit-down chatty video. I wanted to impart some wisdom that I've recently learned. So I've recently been listening to an audiobook called The Happiness Project by Gretchen Rubin. And so I'm not going to take credit for this idea, okay? But Gretchen talks about how important it is to study the people that inspire you and why they inspire you, and how you can discover what qualities about yourself that you would like to improve via studying your influences. Like why are you inspired by these people? What is their main trait that you really admire? And is that something that you can improve on yourself? I'd highly recommend the audiobook. I'm about 2/3 of the way through it. And it's been very, very helpful. This is not sponsored by Audible, but if you have an Audible code, then go grab this one. So I thought I would lead by example and tell you some people that I really admire, and then reflect upon what I like about those people and what that says about me and what I would like to achieve. So first off, let's start with my dad. My dad has been the main pillar of support and strength throughout my entire life, and I've always said if I could be half the man my dad is, then I would be living a very fulfilled life. My dad is always someone that I've been able to go to when I need help, and throughout my life he has always been someone who has always stuck to a task. If there's something that he wants to get done, he will find a way of doing it. Even if at first he's like, oh no, fuck it, like I give up, this is ridiculous. He will always go back to it, and he won't stop until he's found a solution for something, whether that's like fixing a piece of technology or like perfecting a meal. He's always been like that. And one of the phrases that he taught me when I was very young was, if at first you don't succeed, try and try again. At times he can be very stubborn. Sometimes his resilience is, you know, it can be a negative thing, but for the most part, I was always taught that if I really care about something, I really want to get it done, you will find a way if you are that passionate about it. So what I really admire about my dad is his resilience, and the fact that, you know, he can get knocked down, but he will always just, you know, get back up. No, I'm not quoting the Chumbawamba song, but now that is stuck in my head. In terms of musical inspiration, I do have a few, but I would say in terms of actually inspiring me as a human, no one tops it more than Taylor Swift. I know a lot of people have their feelings about Taylor Swift. It's very easy to jump on a bandwagon and say, well, she was mean to Kanye. And there are other things that people don't like for various reasons, but for me, Taylor Swift is such a huge inspiration, not only as a songwriter, but as a musician and a celebrity in the public eye. So creatively, she inspires me. Her song lyrics are so personal, and they're so raw and so honest, and they're always based on how she's feeling or one of her experiences. And I've always been a believer in writing songs that are based on true life. You know, perhaps changing things here and there, but being influenced by things that have happened in your own experiences. And when I really discovered Taylor Swift like a couple of years ago and found out that that's what she does as well, I was just blown away by it. If you listen to a song called All Too Well, it describes a relationship like no other. It's so honest. But on the other side of Taylor Swift, what I really admire about her is the fact that she does get a lot of shit in the press. She does get a lot of people who hate her, whether it's through jealousy or just they just personally just find her obnoxious or whatever words they want to use. I personally completely disagree with it, but I am very biased because I love Taylor. But despite all of this, she's had like the best-selling stadium tour. Look What You Made Me Do was like the fastest music video to reach a certain amount of views in 24 hours or something. Her album went to #1 worldwide, Reputation. So throughout all of these setbacks, and she's even said like she considered quitting. She just wanted to like bury her head and just never make music again when everything was really rough. She carried on, and she carried on writing, and she persevered. And she really shone through it and proved that you can still be successful no matter what people say. Well, the sun is setting. My apologies. I'll be pretty quick. So as well as her honesty in her lyrics and her creativity, I also, again, admire her resilience. Starting to see a pattern here. And finally, another person that, used to inspire me a lot more than they do now because of certain reasons, was CM Punk, who used to wrestle for WWE. Now, obviously, wrestling is scripted and blah, whatever. But even though I knew that, the era where he was just speaking his mind and telling the truth about the WWE and exposing it all on a live mic, and the reality era, or whatever they wanted to call it back then. It was so jaw-dropping and different, and he always, regardless of what was scripted and what wasn't, no one really truly knows what parts were scripted, but the image of him, like, you know, standing up to authority, like Vince McMahon and stuff like that, you know, standing up to his own boss and mocking him and holding him, you know, like hostage to more money and things like that. It was so fucking cool. And I remember always being really, really inspired to stand my ground with, like, my bosses when I was working as a waitress, because I watched CM Punk do it, you know, staying true to himself no matter what. Even if it came at a risk of, like, being fired or being in trouble, like, you know, sticking it to the man and stuff. I know that it used to be a massive, massive thing to me. So in terms of inspiration, I would say that I really admired CM Punk's brutal honesty and the desire to fight back against injustice and standing your ground, which again, I guess, comes down to resilience. So taking those three, whilst there are different, you know, qualities to all of them, all of which I admire, the main themes for me seem to be that I admire resilience and honesty. So that really leaves me with the question of, am I being as resilient to negativity as I could be? Am I being as honest as I could be, both in writing and in terms of, you know, what I post on social media? Am I being as strong as I possibly can be? That is a trait that clearly really resonates with me. So if that is such a core integral part to what I consider to be important to a human being's, you know, traits, if that's like a big quality in a human that I look for, how can I be the best version of myself using those traits? You know, I am someone that gets quite a lot of criticism, you know, whether it's like people just bitching online, whether it's people being shady in my comment section saying, well, this channel's flopping. Like, you know, there are a lot of hurtful things out there that I get, and, you know, there have been times where I've been really, really susceptible to it. I think going forward, I need to think like, you know, what would these people that I admire do? How would they react? And if I want to be an inspiration to other people, like, how should I be acting? And in terms of honesty, I think I'm pretty honest, if I'm honest. Like, you know, there have been times where I've made videos that, like, you know, I haven't been too into, like the content series that I did, but I did quickly stop it once I realized that my heart wasn't in it. And same with like comedy and all sort of commentary videos that I've done. Once my heart's not in it anymore, I'm not going to lie to you anymore. I'm only ever going to make what I want. I'm going to talk about what I want. And people have said really recently that they really like the direction that this channel is going in. They like that I'm just sitting down and being honest. Lots of you guys like the videos over on my second channel where I was just sitting down and talking. So that's what I'm planning on doing. Just a little bit more, you know, just being me and just saying my truth. And if I can inspire one person to be more resilient or more honest, then that's fantastic. So that's all I have for you today. I urge you to do your own homework. Think about 3 figures, whether they're in your personal life or whether they're celebrities, people in pop culture, people that you feel like really inspire you and make you want to be a better person, people that bring you joy when you think about them. What is it about them that you really, really like? Think about the traits that correlate with those people and whether there is a common trait that runs through all 3 of those people. If so, ask yourself, is there a way that I can improve that in myself to be more like my spiritual inspirations? Let me know in the comments below. In fact, yeah, just write them down in the comments below. Who do you admire? What traits do you admire? How are you gonna use them in your day-to-day life? Thank you guys so much for watching, and until next time, I shall catch you later.